There we go. How come it takes YouTube so long to connect the video and the audio? If I start talking too soon, it's just, there's nobody there. It's cut off. Let's just give it a few moments just to let some people in. I'm April Davis, PI. I may have to do this a little later if I don't get people to come in. Especially with all the YouTube glitches this week. Yeah, I'm not seeing anybody there. Let me go to the desktop. Oh, hey, Jay, I was beginning to worry. I was like, what's going on? Let me just set up the desktop so I can see the chat, considering, there's always so many issues. There's been a lot of YouTube glitches since I became monetized that I never would have noticed. Yeah, did you see the, I already released, oh, hey, Rita, I released the long form content in a Premiere. Let me just set up the chat. Okay, that's set up. Yeah, if you didn't catch that, Jay or Rita, you can always go catch that later. Just go under the, go to my homepage and click videos, and you'll see that video. It's about the current list of suspects. But this video is going to be more about the Duggars. There's just a lot of breaking news that's happening on that case, and there's so many people, like online that are interested in that. But I can't go that long today. I can't go for hours and hours because I still need to get out of the house before this alleged big storm that's coming. That's never going to come. I think we might see a sprinkle like at 8 o'clock, maybe 9 o'clock at night. It's just a joke. I could have washed the car yesterday. I was watching your rundown of possible suspects when I saw your live come on. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's basically, and I don't have them in the order of oh, this person's number one because they're the top of the list. No, I have them in the order that the names started coming into the play, the movie, the soap opera, whatever you want to call it. Well, first this happened, and there were these, and then this person came into the story, and then this person, and I just went all the way through it from top to bottom. And remember here, everybody is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Hey, 14 people. I'm April Davis, PI, and I'm broadcasting live from Los Angeles, California. I need to give you an update on the Duggar situation. We're going to talk Joseph Duggar, his wife Kendra Duggar, and surprisingly, I never would have put this on my bingo card. We're going to have to talk about Joanna Duggar because there's trouble brewing with Joanna. I mean, it just never ceased to boggle my mind that these people are in so much trouble. Hey, Recluse. Good afternoon. Saw some of the video. We'll watch the rest later. Oh, great. I appreciate that. Okay, so over the weekend, apparently it took a couple of days. They took the very slow bus or whatever between Arkansas and Florida. It's not that far to get from Arkansas to Panama City Beach, Florida. Hi, Mary. They transported him, extradited him, so that he could face the Bay County criminal justice system, where he would be charged with multiple felony counts of child SA. Yeah, we all knew that was coming. That's why the state of Arkansas was holding him. Now, not surprisingly, he's already bailed out. His bail was set at $600,000. With the bail bondsman, you only have to come up with about 10%. I'm sure that was already prearranged before he even arrived. We're going to have a lawyer there. We're going to have a bail bondsman there. He literally went from the jail to a Zoom courthouse appearance. They didn't even take him to court. It was just by Zoom, where he was wearing striped jail inmate attire. It's pathetic. And by the time I even woke up and checked the jail, he was already gone. I mean, they booked him, they fingerprinted him, they mugshot him, all that. But he just went, straight from the bus to the jail, to the intake, to the court appearance. And they said that he could be released on bond and that he would not be able to have any contact with his minor children without supervision. Also, 2 of the younger Duggar siblings, his siblings, he wouldn't be able to be alone with them either without adult supervision. However, yes, Jay, the whole family is messed up. Of course, Jim Bob paid for it. I'm sure he did. Now, on the other hand, though, don't forget that he and his wife, Kendra, after he was already jailed in Arkansas on a hold, not yet charged at that point, just on a hold to another state, which we all know is Florida, both he and Kendra were charged, and they were each charged with 4 counts for each crime, because remember, they have 4 kids. That's how we knew it was probably criminal behavior or some kind of a crime against his own kids, because each of them got charged with 2 different crimes, 4 counts each crime. So each Duggar, Kendra, and Joseph are facing total of 8 counts, 8 counts each. And it was, for child endangerment, those types of charges, endangering. What was the actual? Let me see what she was charged. Well, they were both charged. Okay, it was for 4 counts each of second-degree endangering the welfare of a minor and second-degree false imprisonment. And then everybody went, oh, 4 counts of each crime. It's probably their kids. Like maybe they had locks on the door that could only be accessed from the outside. Okay, so then after she gets brought in, that he's arrested with the same crime. Now, let me just grab this. I have a copy right here. I'm not making this up. I think I showed it in a prior video. If you watch my prior Duggar videos, we cover all of this. This is a copy of the order that she signed. In fact, her signature is right here, where she signs an order for condition of release. So for her to get out of the pokey in Washington County, Arkansas, she had to sign this, that she would have no contact with her minor children, apparently. Let's see. Order for condition of release. She has to go back to court, 429. No contact order issued against Kendra Duggar for 4 minor victims. Okay. So I would assume that since her husband is being charged with the same misdemeanor crimes in Arkansas, that he too would have a no contact order. But I don't have a copy of that. I just see the one with Kendra. But yet the state of Florida says, okay, with $600,000 in bail, you bond out, we'll let you go back home to Arkansas, but you must be supervised with your kids. But how the heck is he going to do that, have, supervised contact with his minor children if there's a no contact order? I only have a copy of his. Okay, now apparently Michelle Duggar may have been the one that bailed Kendra out. They didn't have to bail her husband Joseph out because he was still being held to be transferred to the state of Florida. Where's his no contact order? Because Florida's like, for our charges, which are felonies, serious felonies, where he could go to prison for 25 years or more, you can still see your kids and your younger minor siblings, but you must be supervised. But yet for these they're not little, but still, they're lesser charges, misdemeanor charges, and they were both facing the exact same charges. You can see it in my prior videos. Just go to my my live tab or go to my true crime or news playlist, and you'll see that they were both charged with the same thing. Oh, hey, thanks for sending the gift, Jay. Appreciate that. It pops up on the screen like in a second. Jay sent a flower. I appreciate you. And it says I have 15 rubies. I guess on my screen, if you guys buy jewels, and some of them are free, but you can also buy them, then those convert to rubies in, I think, 100 rubies equals $1 or something. Whatever. Are they dangerous? You mean the Duggars? I think the whole family's bananas. I mean, look at this. In order for her to have posted bail on her misdemeanor charges, she had to sign this no contact order. So I'm a bit confused when Florida says, well, per our state, to Joseph, we're going to let you go with $600,000 in bail, but you can have supervised visits with your kids and your siblings that are minors. But yet in Arkansas, the wife, who's facing the exact same misdemeanor charges as Joseph, there's a no contact order. And apparently the kids are I think they're with the Caldwells. It's been reported that they are not with the Duggars. Yeah, $600K, but Al, you only have to post like 10% with a bail bondsman. Of course, you got to have the $600,000 behind that bond. They don't just give it to you for free. So what's the deal? What's going to happen? Has he already got back to Arkansas? Probably so. Did Jim Bob hire the private jet? I doubt he would have driven the bus down there to pick him up. I mean, this is ridiculous. But here's where it gets even stranger. While he was still in jail in Arkansas, in Washington County Jail, he and his wife, who had since bailed out, thanks to Michelle with her little baby dog, she was bailed out by Michelle. That's what I'm hearing. All this is alleged. We're just reporting the news, people. I'm not an expert on the Duggars, as some other people on the internet are, but I know enough to be able to go on the air and be confident about what I'm saying. Okay? She didn't go back to her house. She was hidden. And her phone conversations, apparently she was allowed to have 1 or 2 phone conversations a day via phone with her jailed husband, who would be facing felony charges in Florida. She was like, "Oh, honey, are you okay? And how you doing?" And she seemed to be very sympathetic to a man who's not only put her own kids in danger, but a man that's being accused of, or has confessed, at least in Arkansas, he confessed, to SA of a minor child under the age of 12. She was actually 9. She's now 14, who most likely is her little sister. Now, can you imagine if you found out that your husband had SA'd your little sister, who was 9 years old, but yet you're calling him in jail and going, "Oh, hey, honey, are you okay?" I mean, these people are whacked. So she couldn't say during one of the recorded conversations that was released to the public, she could not say where she was staying. But it's been revealed. She was staying with Sister Joanna and her husband, Austin Forsyth. And they have 3 kids. And supposedly within the last day or two, now Joanna may be under investigation in Arkansas. And she apparently deleted either all or some of her YouTube videos. And remember, that's how she makes her little money on the side. Her husband does construction. She does YouTube. And I don't know if she took down her channel. I didn't check. You guys could feel free to check while I'm on the air. But supposedly she deleted all or some of her YouTube videos because she's now being looked into for possibly the same types of charges, child endangerment. Maybe she also locked her children in their bedrooms with locks outside the door. We don't know that, but apparently she speaks about these things in her YouTube videos, and that's why they were all quickly, or some were quickly deleted or removed from the site. What happened? Here's my question. And we're not going to go too long today on this because I do have to do other things. But what happened to those Duggar children? The children of, 19 kids and counting, the children of Jim Bob and Michelle. What happened to those kids that so many of them now seem to be messed up when it comes to SA, when it comes to child endangerment, how they discipline their kids? Apparently, They may have had locks on their doors as well. And she mentioned in a YouTube video about allegedly that her husband had guns. Well, I shouldn't have said that word, but he had weapons present in the house that were accessible to the children. And their children are very young. I mean, they're just like babies, toddlers. They're super young kids. Like, you have weapons in your house and the kids have access, or they could, oh my gosh. Okay, no problem, Jay. Hi, DT Hope. Welcome in. I mean, I don't know where to go with this. This is like, what else can these people do? And apparently there was a problem on the property because the paparazzi, they were out looking for Kendra. And apparently they did not cross onto private property from what I've heard. But Michelle was over there. And, probably holding Kendra's hand like, are you okay, honey? Like her own son who's done these alleged crimes to his sister-in-law who was 9, and she's over there, bailing out his wife from Washington County, Arkansas jail. What are these people thinking? And obviously they support their son because somebody came up with the bond, the $600,000 bond. Yeah. I mean, this is crazy. This is absolute. What are these people thinking? Remember, Joseph, he was the good son. So they claim. 23 people watching, 25 people watching. Hey, I hope you're all subscribed to April Davis PI. And this is a YouTube channel that's about a little bit of everything. But lately I've been doing a true crime series on Nancy Guthrie. And then this whole, the Duggar family thing blew up with Joseph and Kendra. And now, we may have to add Joanna and her husband to the list. Ladybug, that's not true. If you've gotten from Without a Crystal Ball, she's be lying. I didn't get anything from Without a Crystal Ball. I know who she is, but these are the rumors. Remember, everything on this channel, I'm reporting this. I'm not investigating this. I have the copy right here of the no contact order that Kendra has with the children. Why are these YouTube videos allegedly deleted? I will go on Joanna's YouTube tonight and see what's going on there. These are all allegations, but I think maybe the authorities in Arkansas, they're taking a harder look into that family. Now, Joanna and her husband, they haven't been charged with anything as of yet. The only thing that Kendra Duggar has been charged with are 4 counts each of these 2 misdemeanor crimes, so a total of 8 counts in Washington County, Arkansas, involving 4 counts each of second-degree endangering the welfare of a minor and second-degree false imprisonment. And her husband, he's facing those charges as well in Arkansas, but they were more concerned in Arkansas with getting him transported. So, yeah. Remember, Ladybug, everybody here is innocent until proven guilty. And, I do enjoy Without a Crystal Ball, but I don't watch it very often, especially if it's something that I'm going to talk about, because I don't want to be duplicating somebody else's video or live stream. This is my own knowledge. I have been a licensed PI since '92. I've been in the detective industry since 1984. I'm older than dirt. I've been, 35 years full time. Then, as most of you know, my life took a horrible turn with stage 3 breast cancer, and I've been now, recovered from that, but I've been, trying to fight the side effects that have been actually more severe than what the original cancer was. So, my business is still open on paper, but I'm basically retired now. AJ Herbert, welcome in, sir. Or you could be a lady. AJ, are you a man or a woman? Why did I just assume you were male? AJ? Oh, Jay, you came back. I was just going to say, did Jay come back? Thanks for coming back. So 22 people watching, only 8 thumbs up. Can you guys smash that like button? So everything regarding Joanna and possibly her husband, that's all pending. That's all rumored. But that apparently was the hideout place for Kendra. Oh, I've been on a lot, Christopher. Yeah, I just did a premiere earlier today about the Nancy Guthrie, the list of suspects thus far. So you might want to check it out when I'm done with this live. And this live is just an update on the Duggars. The reboot did not take long. Well, that's good. I'm glad you didn't miss much, Jay. Oh, you were playing games. Okay, Christopher. Yeah, you can always go back on the replays, everybody. And you know, somebody was sending me emails last night. I've got a lot of new viewers, and someone was sending emails to me, but not to the channel email address, which is aprildavispi@gmail. They were coming through an older email that's for, that's what I used for another business. I don't really respond to those on that email. And people were like, oh, I was trying to get your address and I was trying to get your correct email. And I'm like, oh, it's on the main channel page. Just go to my homepage and go underneath my bio, and there's all my links and my email and my address, and most of the videos also in the video description will have the address posted. But people were like, oh, I had to do some research on you to get this address. Like, maybe they got it off my PI website. But I guess people are only like, some of the people that are here are watching because they're seeing the notifications on the lives. Oh, hello, Deanna. But I have an entire YouTube channel with videos, shorts, lives, postings. Okay, Christopher. So you can always go to the main page and then just go over there, and you can, in fact, I'll look at it right now just to guide you. Let me go to my main page. I stopped looking at the chat on the computer because sometimes the chat on the computer is different than the chat that's on my iPhone screen. So just go to the main page and it'll say home, videos, shorts, live, playlist, post, membership. Now it says store. I don't have a store anymore. I don't know why that's still there. I took that down. Must be another YouTube issue. I briefly had a store when I was first monetized, but it was a mess. So I took it down. So now Joseph, he's bailed out, presumably on his way back to Arkansas. Kendra's bailed out on the misdemeanor charges in Arkansas. I don't know how Arkansas is going to handle the misdemeanor charges with Joseph, since he's dealing with more serious offenses in Florida. And, you know, one state says you can have contact and another state says you can't. Like, they kind of need to get on the same page here. And then these are just rumors that now Joanna's been dragged into this because that's where Kendra was hiding out. And I guess Michelle got snippy yesterday with some paparazzis, and, you know, said she was going to charge them with trespassing, and but they weren't on the property apparently, but maybe they were like right at the end of the driveway. You know, I don't know how their property is set up because I don't follow the other siblings that much. I mean, I do follow Jessa sometimes and Jill and Ginger, but I don't really follow Joanna very much. And, you know, now they've like deleted or taken down a lot of videos, allegedly. What are the charges on the wife? Oh, we just read them and I just closed it out. It was the child endangerment. There was 2. Yeah, I think I said it 3 times already. You can also go to the other Duggar videos that are in my live tab, and you can see everything. The exact same as the husband, yeah. But we only have the no contact order on the wife because this was an order of her release, and he wasn't being released. There were conditions, you know, and her signature's on here. Oh, you just joined. Oh, no problem, Deanna. Yeah, it was the child endangerment charges. There was against 4 minors. Apparently, they're children, and they were both charged. But with him, you know, he didn't have a condition of release because he wasn't being released. He was going to be extradited to Florida, which has since happened. He has made a court appearance this morning. He zoomed from the jail there in Bay County, Florida. Someone has already posted a $600,000 bond. Yeah, $600K. But bail bondsman, basically, you pay 10% to the bondsman and they back the rest of it in most states. But somebody with money, probably Jim Bob, was behind it. And surprisingly, even though he has a signed written confession to the, is it Tontitown, Arkansas Police Department, he, when he went to his arraignment this morning via Zoom, shortly after arriving at the jail in Florida, he pled innocent. I think he's going to have a hard time with that one, considering that in Arkansas, he allegedly signed a confession. I mean, he admitted to the victims, he allegedly, reportedly admitted to the victim's father that he did it. And then they went and turned him in to the police in Tontitown, Arkansas, and he allegedly confessed to the detectives that he was guilty. But once he lawyered up and he got to the actual location in Florida where they're going to charge him, and they did charge him this morning, all of a sudden he's claiming innocence now, and he was able to post bail. Oh, he claimed coerced confession, or you think he's going to claim coerced? Coerced. Can I speak today? Do you think is that what he said, or is that what he's going to say? Hi, Jana. Yeah, a good lawyer will twist everything around. Yeah, he will claim that. Yeah, I was thinking that too. No matter what happens, I think he's facing some serious years behind bars. So maybe while he's temporarily out, maybe he and Kendra need to get all their financial affairs in order, because I know that her hearing in Arkansas is April 29th. That's her next court appearance. And it says unnamed victims, but we all know who they are. I'm not sure when his next court date. I would need to look up the case now that a case has actually been filed, a criminal case in Florida. He's no longer in custody because I already checked the roster. He's already been released. He's bailed out. I mean, for all I know, he could have already been in Arkansas. But they're going to have to do a lot of soul searching and make arrangements for their kids, probably going to her parents. And I've heard that her parents are not being supportive. 3 to 4 kids claims 25 plus years. Yeah, he could be. What is wrong with this family? Has there been abuse to these kids? Well, it could be probable. It is probable, but that's just in my humble opinion as an investigator and as a human being. Something's wrong in that family. I mean, I know that they had the boys and the girls always separated, and the girls had locks on their doors, supposedly from the inside, so that when they went to bed at night, they could lock their doors. Because remember what happened with the eldest brother, Joshie. So those girls had locks on the doors, and the boys weren't allowed to babysit or be alone with the girls. I mean, there's 19 kids. There's people running around everywhere. How are these things happening? What were the parents doing to these children? Hopefully they do not go to the Duggar family. I know. Because sadly, I think that's where Anna and her children are. It's just, it makes me sad. It hurts my heart. Because apparently there could be generational abuse going on here. And these kids, it's like, the old saying, monkey see, monkey do. This is what happened to me when I was a kid, so this is what I'm going to do to my kids. And then those kids are a mess. And then that's what they do to their kids, which will be, the parents' future grandkids, and it just, the cycle keeps going and going and going. And instead of getting help and getting therapy, if you're Josh and you SA your sisters, plus a babysitter and an unknown victim, you are sent with the church for 90 days to go build a barn for somebody, and that's your S rehab. It's all covered up. Everything is covered up. Everything is paid off, bribed, or covered up, in my humble opinion. Deanna, the domino effect, somebody needs to break the curse, my lord. Exactly. It just keeps going and going and going. And remember, the kids that are in the IBLP, they're not, a lot of these kids don't even go to public school. They're homeschooled and they're just around their inner circle. They don't know how the real world works. What is reality outside of their world? Hey, Trisha. Howdy, April. Howdy, Trisha. Yeah, I think what you see on those TV specials involving the Duggar family, and they're so like, for the camera, and, Jim Bob has that fake smile all the time, like, look at me. That's all fake. And what goes on when those cameras are, what went on when those cameras were off? I mean, those kids are so messed up. And some of them seem so sweet, including Joseph. Like he was considered one of the good children. And now, who knows how deep that goes? What happened to him? What happened to Josh? At first I just thought, well, with all those kids, obviously there could be one bad seed, but now it just keeps going down the line. Like, okay, I know plenty of homeschoolers, but they are normal. Me too, especially out here where people have kids in show business. But I'm saying these kids, they're homeschooled and they're only allowed to be friends with people in the fundamentalist church that they belong to. And I'm a Christian myself, but I'm not a Christian fundamentalist. Or until the Duggars, I never even heard of the IBLP. These kids they're not exposed to the world. They're not even allowed to go out on a date without a chaperone who's an adult. They can't hug unless it's a side hug. And you got to be engaged to even be able to do a side hug. The girls, you can't show your legs. You can't wear pants. And when you're 21, you could never even have a sip of alcohol. Now, I'm not a proponent of alcohol. I don't even drink. If I drank, it would kill me with all the heart medication I'm on. But I've never been like pro drinking, just because there was severe alcoholism in my family. Not with me, but, I'm not a big fan of drinkers. But, when you're kids, and especially your teenagers, you know what kids do, especially kids of my generation, people try cigarettes, they try alcohol. Like those kids, they cannot even go to a movie and, like hold their date's hand, um, they're so secluded. And I don't have anything against homeschooling, but I do think kids at some point, they need access to the outside world. Oh, lots of alcoholism in your family too. Sorry, Jay. Yeah, it sucks in my family. Trisha, I grew up United Pentecostal, no pants, no co-ed anything, no TV, no shaving, no jewelry, no makeup. Oh, wow. I had a friend at a private school, and her father was a Pentecostal minister, and she couldn't go to some of these school functions, like the dances. She wasn't allowed to go, and she couldn't like go trick or treating. Like, I hadn't heard of that one. Like no Halloween, and she too couldn't wear makeup. And she was such a cute girl. I remember her name was Donna, and she was a blonde, and you know, I'm sure when she grew up, she was a gorgeous woman. And but and church 4 times a week. Oh my gosh. Oh, no cutting hair. I didn't know that. No dancing. Yeah. She was so upset because, in junior high, they started having these dances as early as like the 6th grade, and she wasn't allowed to attend anything like that. And my heart just broke for her. She was so sad all the time and depressed. I mean, I can see how some of these kids, when they're so restricted, like too restricted, that they can get themselves into trouble. And how can you possibly give all the love and attention that a child needs if you've got 19 kids? And, every time you have another pregnancy or another baby, you've got to push the next youngest, to the siblings. And then the next baby's coming, and the next baby's coming, and, more of the children, every child, like Janice, she was the eldest daughter. She had so much responsibility. And probably so did Josh as the oldest son. To escape it, you got married at 17. Well, good for you. And went wild. That's how I felt when I went from private school to public school. And I didn't like commit crimes or was a bad kid or anything. I never got detention or anything like that. But I was like, I don't have to wear a uniform anymore. I can wear jeans. And I hung out with the cool kids. And I had my first boyfriend when I was in the 8th grade. I was so happy to be in public school, and I felt like I went wild. But not in a bad way. Yeah, Tricia says, totally get that feeling. Yeah, I was just like, I am so done with this garbage. And it was so strict. And there, the private school, I was in an earlier private school that was a Christian school, and that was fun. But then I got transferred to an Episcopal school because we went to the Episcopal church in that town. But they were cracking the whip. And there were kids that got, unalived in accidents, kids that unalived themselves. Several of the kids that I knew from there have since passed at a young age due to substance abuse issues. I mean, I know things run in all families, but it was tough. Jay says, I got married at 18, 1 week after high school, married 42 years. Congratulations. That's awesome. Hey, Recluse. Recluse in the house. Yeah, so, I'm sure you guys probably already heard all this before I even went on the air today. And I still need to get out and do the things I've been trying to get out. Like, I finally decided last night, like, I want to keep this going, especially since I got monetized. Although I'm obviously not going to get an April check. I'm not going to get my first check then because I just got monetized at the very end of the month. So unless between now and midnight a ton of money comes in, it's not going to happen. I won't be seeing a check anytime soon. But I realized, like, I can't do this like every single day because, laundry has to get done. Grocery shopping has to get done. Now, I'm pretty disabled as far as that, so I usually just get it delivered or I do a pickup, where I don't have to get out of my car. But I still, I need to get to the business box. I need to take my recyclables out to the bin. I need to start my car, even if it's just to drive around the block. I don't go far. I'm not very mobile anymore. But I cannot dedicate 24 hours a day. Like last night, I was sending messages back till 4 a.m. and I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, I need to be able to sleep. I need to just like, tone it down a bit. But I appreciate all the messages and the comments because, every comment, every thumbs up, every red heart, every click, that's engagement. And that boosts the YouTube algorithm. So you guys can keep sending me the messages, but I just can't be doing it like 24 hours a day. I have to be able to just, be able to turn off my brain and relax at night. Usually I watch YouTube videos from other YouTubers, and I do that like in the middle of the night, which I should be doing during the day, but I'm too busy making my own content. So I think I'll be watching less and less of some of these people that I follow, but I like to follow the people that I follow. So, especially one of my my mods here, Curmudgeon Alaska. I love whenever his videos come up. I follow several families in Alaska. I just like that kind of thing because it's so far removed from where I am in a county. LA County is the largest population in the United States as far as a county. Name a good one. Let's see. This Alaska Life, they're pretty good. Now, I don't agree with all of their religion because they're very devout Mormons and they're very wonderful people, but there's a lot of problems with the Mormon faith. And so I kind of hesitated to get into it. But because of where they live, I started watching them and, I really enjoy their videos. Yeah, we don't expect your engagement 24/7. So it is what it is. Oh, hey, Penny. Welcome in. Oh, Penny says same. I listen every night in bed. I haven't seen you before, Penny. Welcome to my channel. And I always tell you guys now, I'm going to get in the habit of going to my YouTube studio, which is basically studio is the back end of YouTube for the content creators. Now I'm actually considered a content creator with the change on March. Yeah, it's not May yet, April. It's not even my birthday month until tomorrow. I now have 2,290. And I know that that's a very small amount, but every single one of you means the world to me. I never thought I would go that far. I never even thought I would make 1,000. Oh, I love Donny Osmond too. I had a case once in my PI job where he was involved in one of the cases, and I just heard the greatest story about him. I actually saw him when I was a child because my sister, who was very young, I mean, she was maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6. She was young. We were both young, and she wanted to go see Donnie and Marie. And my parents and I suffered through that, and they had the Osmonds come out first, and they were actually pretty good. But then Donnie and Marie came out, and they were like singing the records, and a lot of people were like kind of pissed. And Donnie couldn't pronounce the name of the town, and people kept yelling at him, "It's Mobile!" And he would say like, "Well, welcome, thank you for inviting me to Mobile." And everybody's like, "Mobile!" It was so funny. But he's a good guy. Yes, I do have playlists. And I probably need to make some more. Like I could make a playlist just on Nancy Guthrie. I do have playlists, quite a few. Oh, hello. Cheyenne Gamers from Pakistan. Wow. I don't think I've ever seen Pakistan on any of my lives. Welcome in. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, we're getting more countries. Especially if you guys are in a country other than the United States, let me know where you're coming in from. Yeah, in fact, and like I said earlier, if you're just coming in, so many people don't know how to go to the homepage. And they're like, oh, I'm going to rewatch all your lives, but they don't realize that the live section is a very small part of my channel. Oh, you saw them a few years ago? Yeah, I know they had that Vegas residency. Yeah, so I do watch This Alaska Live, but just, if anybody has a problem with them being devout Mormons, then the channel's probably not for you. I don't agree with their stance, especially, these people, they're so wonderful. They have 5 kids, and chances are one of those kids someday might be on the LGBTQ plus spectrum. And are they going to, they'll have a choice to leave their church or to disassociate themselves from their child. And that's happening in a lot of Mormon families because that is more acceptable in today's world. People don't have to hide anymore. And at this channel here, everybody is welcome. I don't get religious on this channel, but yeah, just so you know, they're devout Mormons, but they have a lot of cool videos about Alaska. Yes, well, she did, but one of them, we talked about this earlier. One of them, her son, I believe his name might have been Michael. He jumped off an eight-story balcony in downtown Los Angeles at the Fashion Institute and took his life. And he was one of her adopted children. And then she also has an adopted gay daughter. But see, if she's a devout Mormon would say, I cannot support you. Which is crazy that you wouldn't support your own children. Apparently, Marie Osmond does support her own kids. Exactly, Trisha. The only time your S preference means anything to me is if we are having S. Other than that, I don't need to know anything about your preference or your gender. Exactly. Yeah, and the couple, their names are Lauren and Mark. I really I worry what's going to happen if, in fact, one of the kids is in that community, and because these kids were born into that and their parents were born into that. It's almost as if they don't know how the other half lives. It's just the same with the fundamentalist Christian that, the LGBTLP, how many of the Duggar kids may be LGBTQ, you know? I happen to be a straight person, but yet I accept everybody, and everybody is welcome on my channel. Now, if you get abusive or you start, saying inappropriate comments, or somebody came in a few days ago and started bullying me right on my channel, it's like, no, you're out of here. Deanna says, hey, you see that Austria has been children under 16 and under from having any social media. Oh, has banned children 16 and under from having social media? I wish the United States would adopt that policy ASAP. Go Australia. Is it Austria or Australia that's banned children 16 and under from having social media? Which country? Yeah, we didn't even have social media when I was a child. People actually went out and played in the streets. People played basketball in the driveway or wiffle ball on somebody's lawn. Or Australia. Oh, wow. I hadn't heard that, Deanna. I'll have to look into that. Yeah, now everybody's like this, even if they're eating dinner or they're at a meeting with a friend, everybody's like, I was never like that when I was a kid, because I'm that old. And in 13 more days, well, actually 12 more days. Yeah, 12 more days, I'll be another year older. But I'm not going to get upset about it, because I'm just so happy to still be here after everything I've been through. I'm just like, oh my. Every time there's a New Year's or a birthday, it's like, I made it. I made it another year. Me too, especially with YouTube mostly. And then when I had my premiere earlier today, I should have turned off my notifications on my phone, because my phone started blowing up with spam calls and then political texts. Yeah, I very rarely watch television. I have an old antenna. I haven't had cable for years. And it was a cost thing at first because I was ill, but now even if I had the money, I wouldn't watch cable. Everything I need to see is on the internet. But I do watch my ball games. But I even watch them through apps. I don't watch them through network TV or cable. Yeah, but they're a good channel. This Alaska Life and Curmudgeon Alaska. I was a big fan of Corey Williams, but they left Alaska for Oklahoma, and their channel just he's one of the biggest YouTubers on the planet, but he's got a kids channel now that's blowing up, that's going to become a TV show or something, and his mainstream channels have all just went ever since they moved to Oklahoma, because there's not a whole lot to film there. Where when he was in Alaska or California, he had places to go and things to see and do every day. But you can see, I guess, where he lives is in Tulsa, which is a nice city, but I guess you can see the whole town in like 10 minutes. So I liked him when he was Dude Like Hella. But he's a professional. Like, he's done this his whole adult life, and he's made millions of dollars. But he's just put most of his channels on hold now so that he can make this kids channel called Silly Crocodile, but it's for like little kids. It's like an animated like kids show, like 3-year-olds watch it. But he's basically set for life now because of it, because he's got that type of talent. He's a professional filmmaker. I'm just a hobbyist YouTube maker. I'm a hobbyist content creator. I would never be able to make a living with this. This is just for enjoyment. I think that will stop some of the human trafficking. Hopefully. You know what? That's a good point, Deanna. Because when I was a child and we didn't have all this, like, I don't remember there being like trafficking. There was kidnapping sometimes, people you had to stay away from, abductions, things like that, missing kids, but not like it is today. Miss my childhood, would love to go back. Not many friends, but I had my mom and my dad. Never say never. Oh, regarding my YouTube? No, I'm totally 100% disabled, so like it's just not going to happen. But I do have hundreds of videos, even though I deleted a ton of videos during the first monetization fiasco. But I still have, right now, it says 494. And some people are just, chronically rewatching the lives, which is great because it all counts for time now. But there's tons of videos, hundreds of them. And if anybody's trying to send an email, please send it to the channel email, not other older emails. Just send it to aprildavispi@gmail. And I don't have time to get back to everybody. It's just because I've got so many messages, but I still read them all. And I appreciate those. Because people are like, I can't see your address, your mailing address. It's like, oh, it's on the description of every video and it's on my main channel page. And people are like, do you have a different channel? And I'm like, no, I just have one, April Davis PI. But go to the home page and then you'll see the bio and it'll say, in fact, I'll read it to you. It says private investigator, reseller, treasure hunter, animal lover, breast cancer survivor, and proud Angelino, bunny and cat mama. Tune in for news, stories, and more. There's something here for everyone. And then I have my address. Is my email at the bottom? It should be. Yeah, they put that at the bottom. Then it has my links. I'm not very active here right now, but it has my eBay store, Buy Me a Coffee, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, whatnot, and GoFundMe. And that's just so that you can see my cancer story. And it is still inactive because somebody here wanted me to connect it again, and I did. And then I got one donation out of it. So it's still there if you want to see the whole history of. I try not to look at it because it gets me too depressed. And then it says, there's a little tab that says view email address. And if you click it, it says aprildavispi@gmail. And then it's got my handle for my channel. I'm in the United States. How many subscribers? How many videos? Now my views, that's a total wrong number because I deleted some of my biggest videos in 2025 when I was temporarily demonetized. So about a quarter to a third of my videos disappeared, and that's where most of my views were. So that view count is not accurate at all. And when it says I joined July 7th, 2014, that just means that's when I got a Google username to go onto other YouTube channels. My YouTube channel started December 2020. So by the end of this year, it'll be the 6th year. And with all the money that I've spent, I haven't made a penny. So, hi, brain, where are you coming in from? But I do look forward. It probably won't come until the end of May now, since we only have a few hours left on the 31st. But I do look forward to receiving that first check. And I'm just going to deposit those checks and just try to recoup some of all the channel losses that I've had over the years. But I do need to buy some upgraded mics. That's probably the only thing I will spend my money on at a certain point. Let's see. So $22.90. followers or subscribers. That's amazing. For me, that's amazing. For a big YouTuber, that's like trash. They would just give up. But for me, it's amazing because you start with 0. And to think that there's over 2,200 people. And you got to realize that the subscribers, they're only a very small percent of the viewers. Like it can be just a few percentage points of the viewers. So think of all those people that are not subscribed. If all those people that watch were subscribed, yeah, then it would blow up. So if you're watching right now and you're not subscribed, please do so. Please smash that like button. Feel free to send me some red hearts. Doesn't cost a penny. And just doing the rewatches, the replays, that doesn't cost a penny either. Thank you for the red hearts, whoever just sent those. I appreciate that. It just helps boost the algorithm. I got to keep hydrating here. I haven't seen Brain before. Where are you coming in from? Or is it Brawny? B-R-A-N-E. Let me know how to pronounce that if you're still here. I don't want to butcher the usernames here. And did any of you guys see the premiere today on the Nancy Guthrie suspects? And when I list them in an order, it's not like who's the number 1 suspect and who's the least likely. It's not like that. They're listed in the order that their names appeared in that soap, or I call it like it's like a movie or a screenplay. And they're all the actors, the cast of characters. Tricia says, when I was talking to friends about going live, I was told that the subscriber count is vanity. There's going to be a large percentage of them that don't watch, but know you and want to support you. The viewers are your tribe. Exactly. I was thinking about that the other night, like I watched the Humble Stacker. He's in the silver stacking community, and he just started something called Humble's Heroes. And I'm like, oh, that sounds so cool. But my name is April Davis, and I'm a PI. What could I call my followers or my subscribers? Recluse says 10 minutes. Do I write books? No, I don't, but I get asked that a lot, especially with my work that I've done. But the problem is I'd never be able to name specific names, especially like when it comes to like the celebrity work. I'd be terrible at writing books. Oh, Tricia says, oh, that reminds me. Did you see they are tossing out another theory now? The public, not law enforcement or family, that the person could have been law enforcement or pretending to be. I had not heard that. I have not heard that. Anything is possible in this case. Now, they are saying what I said from the very beginning. Now it's kind of going out public. And I said this from day one, or very shortly after day one, that I think the perpetrators came in through the back, and I think they exited with Nancy from the front. I've always said that. And now it's appearing that that is most likely the case. And apparently I'm also hearing that the blood droplets that were in the house may or may not have been located right near the front door. So that makes me think that she didn't want to leave and she was trying to get away and she got injured. And knowing her heart condition and her pacemaker, she was probably on a blood thinner, and she may not have lasted very long after they took her away. Tricia, yes, they are thinking of scenarios where a woman would willingly get up and head out until it didn't look legit. Well, here's the problem, though, with that. She supposedly had hearing aids, and she would take them off and put them on the nightstand when she would go to bed. And they said without those hearing aids, she couldn't have heard anything. So if somebody was like knocking on the door, she wouldn't have heard it. And there's evidence that she was dragged from her bed. They believe that she was dragged out of her bed while she was sleeping. So that kind of negates the theory that somebody came to the door, posing as a cop, because they believe she was dragged out of her bed and she didn't even have any shoes on. Hey, Jamie, thank you. Just popping in for a like. I appreciate you, Jamie. And thanks for coming to the premiere today. You guys haven't seen that. It's about a 23, 24-minute video, and I go through the whole list of suspects thus far. And if I've forgotten anybody or didn't mention somebody that you think could, be involved in the long cast of characters of this drama, please feel free to place it in the comments. Yeah, I hope so. I thought it was a little boring, but see, I'm a detective. I'm not a creative type. It's just the facts. And, the two people that I put in the top of the video, it's not that they're my number one or two suspects. I don't go through it like that. I go through it from, okay, on this date, she was taken. And, according to this person, this is a prime suspect. Well, if this person is a suspect, then this next person is a suspect. And then this fellow came into the story. And then this fellow came into the story. And this lady came in. And I just go through the whole thing. And then in the very back end, I mention some of the less likely. In fact, some of them are comical. I have not heard dragged. The last I heard, it appeared as if she simply got up and walked out, except for the front door blood and back door being propped open. Yeah, apparently there was a back gate that was propped open and the back door that leads into the kitchen, not the main back door that you see in some of the drone footage. It was the gate that's on the side of the house between the house and the guest house. That gate was propped open, and the gate or not, was it the side door or one inside the garage? I forget. But they showed like these big flower pots, and apparently they pushed the flower pots. And I'm not sure why those were open like that when apparently they exited the front. Yeah, under the patio. Yes, she was woken up in bed. My husband can come in late and come to bed, and I don't even know it until morning. You're a good sleeper. See, it would be hard for me to be married and share a bed with somebody as far as the sleeping part, because I'm an insomniac. There was a small gardening bench besides the house door that was propped open. Yeah, and death. Oh, you mean yourself? Or Nancy? Says Jay. And death. Deanna. Now they are saying that there appears to be no struggle in the house. This case gets stranger by the minute. Well, I have to agree with you there. Oh, you. Oh, I remember that, Jay. Can you hear something with hearing aids, though? Hopefully. Or you wouldn't be hearing me now. Yeah, apparently without her hearing aids, she couldn't hear anything. And that's just probably age related in her case. The longer you live, I guess your hearing is one of the last things to go. Hi, Sue Brock-Schmidt. Welcome back. Yeah, I'm just getting ready to leave, but you can watch the premiere that I did earlier today regarding the Nancy Guthrie case and the long list of suspects. Hearing aids plugged into the charger at night. That's what I think was her situation. And then I just did this update on the Duggars. And we talk about Joseph Duggar, Kendra Duggar. And surprisingly, this wasn't on my bingo card, but we had to talk a little bit about Joanna Duggar today because something may be brewing in that family as well. And that's all I'm going to say. Just watch, see the replay. But you guys, if you haven't seen the premiere today, that's under my long form content. That's under my video tab. Go to that video and see that. Trisha says, everyone open a tab and let April's playlist play on mute. She can bill the hours. Yeah, truthfully, Trisha, I need the hours within the next 6 to 8 hours as far as me being able to get paid in April. I don't think I'm going to reach that since I just got monetized very late at night on the 25th. And they are 2 days behind in calculating it, but it appears that most of the revenue has come from super chats, super thanks, and then on these vertical lives, I guess people are allowed to send the jewels, which is digital currency that converts to rubies, and like I guess 100 rubies on my end converts to $1. Hold the faith. That's all I can do. Stay positive. Jay says, I had mumps at 2 years old, slow progressive loss, diagnosed with 50% loss about 3 years ago. Oh, wow. I hear somebody chewing. Bunny? That's her nickname is Bunny. I hear somebody like digging. As long as she's not eating the cords, the spicy hay, it's okay. No, they take a lot more. I was told that they took 40% of the super chats, but the first one I got, the night that nobody knew except for one person, I got $1.99 in the account, and it reduced to 98-cent credit. So from $1.98 or $1.99, I will get less than 50% of that. On the memberships, I would get 70%. But I was very generous yesterday to toss out 10 of them for free. I may need to slow down on that since I don't have as many subscribers as most monetized channels, because I need to encourage people to become members. And then the views, we get like 55% supposedly, but the CPMs and the RPMs have gone way down, so the views are only adding up to pennies. If it weren't for these super chats that I got the day that I announced it, and then I got another several on another video, a live content video, like there'd hardly be anything in that account. Penny, I woke up with 70% hearing loss a few years ago, autoimmune disease. Oh my gosh. Jay says, yep, good husband and 2 kids. No problem, Penny. I knew what you meant. It's hard to type if you're watching on your cell phone. It's hard to type on these little screens. That's crazy. You just woke up with 70% hearing loss. Was it permanent? Trisha, I have a friend that has 100K subs, and she has had some content get 1 million views, and she said her highest check so far was 1,500. Oh my God! It says that my estimated revenue says 49.33. In fact, let me click the tab. And I'm like, it's almost 6 years and that's all? And out of that, but remember, they're only counting the 25th, which that was only an hour, the 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th. Yeah, 30th and 31st hasn't even been calculated yet. And it says supers and gifts, 31.88, watch page ads, 14.44, memberships, thank you, hearts, I love you, 3.49. And she's the only paid member. And the short feed ads, don't even waste your time. I mean, you can watch them, but don't waste your time. 2 pennies. And I've done some good shorts lately. Well, I'm going to do a lot less, let me tell you. That's incredible, Jay. See, that would be my goal, to have a video that would get like 1 million views. That's what happened to Kermudge, and his subscriber count jumped dramatically. Like by the thousands, the many tens of thousands, because he had a video that, and it was just a 20-minute video. I enjoyed it. I watched it like 2 or 3 times. But he went from a little channel to just exploded overnight because he had a video that had 1 million views. And it just showed him like leaving his property on the flagship train in Alaska and going in and getting supplies in town. But it just, it's fascinating how these people live off the grid in Alaska. And, it's a very popular subject right now on YouTube is Alaska. If I were in Alaska and I was mobile and I didn't have all these disabilities, I could go out to all these great places too. And I'm sure that the subscriber count would just jump. But you know what? I found that I'm getting more growth when I'm doing this true crime because I'm talking about something that I actually know, that I've spent my whole life, working at. Her 1 million views were on shorts. Oh, wow. Yeah, in order to get monetized from shorts, you have to have like 10 million views if you're like trying to just like get monetization. And it has to be in like under 90 days. Like, how am I going to get 10 million views in under 90 days? That's crazy. People were telling her that it was going to be thousands. It could have been in the past, but not anymore. Shorts are short videos. There's a tab. If you go to the main channel page, Jay, or the home page, I should say my home page, because people are like, oh, you have another channel? Like, no, go to the home page and you'll see home, videos, shorts, live, playlist, post, which used to be the community tab, and membership. Don't bother to click the store because I don't have one up right now and I don't plan on it. I mean, I guess I would if I got like, 1 million subs or something, but this is not my full-time job, but it's been feeling like that the last couple of weeks. So that's why I'm going to have to tone it down just a little bit so I can take care of, everything that needs to be taken care of. But wow, this is mind blowing. And I'm so happy that I've increased my subscriber count. I reached my monetization, but I was really hoping that I would see more for the views so that I could, look forward to my first check, like maybe the 3rd week of April. But, now it's going to be a slow crawl just to get to a payment the 3rd week of May. Now, there's been a couple of like smaller donations that went to like Venmo or Cash App, but those are far and few between. She makes candle melts. Oh, the girl that hit the 1 million views on the shorts? That's amazing. Oh, financial channels, they do very well. Like if you just talk about finance, banking, stocks, investments, those channels have very high CPMs and RPMs. A true crime, not so much. And like entertainment and gaming, like I'm not a gamer because I'm too old to be a gamer. That wasn't big when I was growing up. So I kind of, missed that part of life. When I was a reseller part-time, while I was doing chemo, people were like, oh, go buy video game stuff. And I'm like, I don't know anything about that category. I would be terrible at it. I would probably sell somebody the wrong thing. Like, that's just not my talent. Trisha, yes, and then she takes you on walks in the UK countryside, and those do not get near as many views. Oh, wow. People are so fickle. I know. Well, you can see anything on YouTube now. But I do enjoy talking about, things I know about. And remember, I'm not investigating, the Duggars. I'm not investigating the Nancy Guthrie case. I am a licensed detective, but I am just following it like the rest of you, and I'm reporting it to you. And I always try to, be transparent and report everything accurately. The UK rolling hills are beautiful. Yeah, I've been there, Jay, but many years ago. And people like controversy. And here's an example. I'm not going to name the channel because I rather enjoy their videos. But there's a really big YouTube channel, and it's kind of dark and creepy. It takes you to like famous places around the world where famous horror films were made. It takes you to cemeteries. They tell ghost stories. It's kind of a horror creeper channel. And I don't watch it all the time, and I hadn't watched it lately, so I hadn't been, it's just, there's just too much to do and too much to watch, and then all my medical stuff. But that channel, and they've got a tremendous following. And it's a sweet couple, a husband and a wife. And they've been together, like married 9 years. They've been together 15 years, and they do the channel together, but the guy does most of it. Well, he just announced last week on YouTube in a community post that he and the wife are separated or getting a divorce, and he is no longer Michael, that he is Emily, and he is a transgender. And people are saying that the channel is tanking. I think they can survive a loss of thousands of views before it'll hurt them at all. And I won't name them. I'm accepting of everybody, but that's like in the YouTube world, that's a huge story right now. Like, and people want to watch stuff like that. Like, oh, people want to watch a train wreck or a plane crash, and people are like, oh my God, that poor lady, and she's lost 15 years of her life with that guy, and then some of the viewers get mad and say, no, it's not a he, it's a she, and he's not Michael, she's Emily, and it's very controversial what's happened. I don't think it's controversial, but YouTube thinks it's controversial. And I'm sure all their videos now are going to go, even if they're losing their subscriber count, they are gaining views. I make responsible content. If you were out there just throwing around wild accusations, you would get a ton of views. Some creators have traded their souls for their views. I think so. You just keep doing it your way, the tide will turn. People will get tired of the wild accusations and start wanting more facts. I'm just the facts, ma'am, just the facts. But yeah, and it's like, and I hadn't watched them for a while, and apparently the guy had been putting like women's nails on and getting manicures, and he'd been wearing dresses lately, and he grew out his hair, and some people accused him of having a Richard Ramirez look. And if you're not from California, you probably don't know who that is. But in the 80s, we had a serial unaliver. It was a very scary time to live in Los Angeles. I was here when that happened. And he was known as the Night Stalker. And he was revealed to be Richard Ramirez. He has since passed away while incarcerated. He was in prison for life. And someone in his comments, the channel I'm talking about, they started telling the guy, like, hey, you're starting to give me Richard Ramirez vibes. And a lot of their viewers were like, I like these videos, but there's something creepy about this guy. And, is the wife the victim of DV, meaning domestic violence? And, who knows what's going on in their personal lives? And then I see that, oh, these people, and they're not even from like California, they live in Los Angeles. And I know now, like, the area that they live in, it's just a couple miles from me. And I'm like, wow, these are huge YouTubers. And they travel all over the world doing these horror stories, ghost stories, creeper stories. And the guy always ends his videos by saying, Happy Halloween. But there was always something to me that was off about the guy, but not like in a bad way, like, oh, this guy's, a serial killer or a wife beater or something like that. But he always seemed a little off to me. And she seems a little different too, but she also seems very sweet. And they go to like horror conventions. They have thousands of, like they might have close to 1 million followers or subscribers. And people, people pay to go meet them and take pictures with them and get autographs and merch. And they're like, that's what they do for a living. And, they are able to afford plane tickets to go all over the world to film these videos. But now that this has come out, it's just like, I'm sure their views have probably doubled. And people are like, oh, they're killing their channel, and they're going to go off the air, and once their divorce is done, finalized, she's going to leave him, because how can they still be together and make videos when she's going to need a real man? And it's gone off the deep end, and I'm like, oh my God. And then it's so big. It's been less than a week since this happened, and it even popped up in my feed, and I'm like, oh, I haven't seen this channel for a while. What's going on with them? And then I read, and I was like, oh, because I saw the picture, and I was like, why does he look so different? Like, oh my, oh my. And it's like a train wreck. Oh, it's like a plane crash. People have all tuned in now because, oh my God, I didn't see this coming. It wasn't on my bingo card. But I will never resort to those types of tactics. I don't throw out clickbait. But hey, I do need to eat and hydrate. Got to go take care of one errand. And thank you, everybody, for coming in. I appreciate and love every single one of you. Oh, you lived in Claremont when Rich was on the prowl. Yeah, that was some bad times, Recluse. I'm glad I found your channel. I don't like these creators that have drama. I can't stand that. I love how you interact with everyone in your chat. Well, thank you. But do expect that I'm not going to be able to go on like every single day. I just, even physically, it's really pushing me beyond my limits right now going on every single day. But I will still continue to make videos. So if you don't see me for a day or two here and there, don't worry about me. I'm fine. Okay, everybody, have a good evening. And thank you for coming.